We believe in freedom from religion. And it doesn't matter whether you are Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, if you are black, you are welcome.
That's right.
We've got a few Caucasians that we are allowed to come among us and worship with us because they have shown some support for what we are about and assist us in helping free our people from the shackles of slavery, both political, you've gotten them off of your feet and off your ankles, and to some degree you've gotten them off of your minds. But we still shackled.
No, I've seen that Travon Martin flyer. So that's kind of.
The issue of Travon Martin is a hot button issue because it's in our face. But there are other Travons that are taking place as we speak, and some which have taken place recently that have not even been publicized or gotten the attention, nowhere near Travon. One in Union City comes to mind. Young brother, was shot in the back by a police officer, and he was unarmed.
That's right.
And there is not much ado about him. But his case will also be made a part of the cases that we have documented.
That's right.
Of police brutality,
That's right.
corruption in government,
That's right.
and cover-ups
That's right.
that have gone on for hundreds of years
That's right.
against Afro-descendants.
That's right.
So he will not be forgotten
That's correct.
by any stretch of the imagination. It is now 2:30, and the message which you are about to receive, I would like for you to please open your mind, open your hearts, do away with any preconceived notions, ideas, or conditions that you may have in your mind, and allow brother's message to come into your mind, your heart, and your spirit, and carry it with you today, and spread this message that you will receive today to all those that you love. First, those who you care about, and those who need to know. It gives me great pleasure to bring to you our Vice President and the Minister, Ishmael Abdul Salam. So please help me.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm honored to be able to deliver a message, an important message during these times. It's important for us as adults to understand what's going on right now amongst our people. Yes. It's equally important for our children to understand.
That's right.
Because as adults, we've lived through a lot of this stuff before. We've seen it. Some of us in the 40s, think of Lieutenant Wadi. Are you in your 80s? Yes. Brother has seen this all his life. We've seen it in the 40s, 50s, 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000, now 2012. It's the same thing over and over again, just different names now. Travon Martin is the same as Emmett Till.
That's right.
That's correct.
You can say the names over and over again. Every decade brings about another Travon.
Yes, sir.
And so when we say, I am Travon, we are Travon, what we're saying, we are that same people
That's right.
who are routinely and unjustly treated here in America. And it's time for it to stop.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
But we said that in the 80s.
That's right.
I said that as a student at Morehouse, on the campus, rallying. I said that at Georgia State, when Nelson Mandela was freed and we brought him down to the field at Georgia Tech, with Randall Robinson and all, when we fought for apartheid and when we fought, when we fought and when we fought and when we fought and when we fought. But it continues and it continues and it continues and it continues. But today, the purpose of today, I don't want to let my frustration overshadow the message. Today is our National Black Holocaust celebration. And I say celebration because it's a memorializing of our ancestors who died in that event, transatlantic slave trade.
That's right.
That's right.
Our ancestors that died not just in the process of leaving Africa, coming over here, but also died on those plantations. That died in the process, who gave up their life, who fought to establish freedom in chattel slavery.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Then following chattel slavery was 100 years of lynching.
That's right. That's right.
Then after 100 years of lynching was de facto discrimination and racism in the laws.
That's right. That's right.
And even present today.
Yes, sir.
In the United Nations, we have found that the #1 human rights violations right here in America is police brutality.
That's right.
That's right.
Police brutality. And what you see in Travon, not that Zimmerman was a police,
Come on.
but the police department that protected him.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Because shame on us now. Let's forget, don't just take shame on us that we allow black people and black lives to be taken every day and we don't make a noise about
That's
it
right.
in our own community. Shame on us. We don't, when somebody gets murdered because of drugs, somebody get murdered because of domestic violence, somebody get murdered because of ODing, we don't say a thing.
Come on.
Shame on us.
That's right.
That's right. Yes, sir.
If Travon had been murdered by one of us, we wouldn't say a thing.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yes, sir. That's right. Right.
If Zimmerman was locked up that day, we probably wouldn't be saying a thing.
That's right. That's right.
That's true. Like will the beast.
The value of a black life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what it gets down to. We jump on the white man all day long, but shame on us that we allow so much of this stuff to happen to us.
That's right.
We don't say a thing.
Right.
Shame on us that we allow alcohol and drugs and all these things destroy us because we make a choice to do it all to ourselves. Shame on us.
That's right. That's right.
Shame on us for the stuff that we allow to happen that keeps us from getting the justice that we stop so much of it. You know, we our own self.
That's right. That's right.
The Willie Lynch syndrome
That's right.
allows us to perpetuate this same stuff over and over again, even though we have knowledge. We got degrees upon degrees and PhDs and MBAs and DDDs and
An alphabet.
the whole alphabet. We got it all.
That's right.
Shame on us.
That's
Now,
right.
let's put. I'm calling it like you just called it.
That's right.
Because it's about, we got to self-determine.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Shame on us
Yes, sir.
for not walking up to a young black brother and pulling his pants up ourselves.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
street when we grew up,
That's right.
the old lady would get off the porch with a switch
That's
and
right.
pull that boy's pants
Yes,
up
sir.
and break that behind.
That's right.
Then you show your behind to us. You ain't show your butt to nobody.
That's right.
You showed your butt, you got your butt spanked.
Yes, sir.
Dare you, shame on us.
Yes, sir.
Right.
That's right.
See, we got to get our act together.
That's correct.
Shame on us for allowing our sisters to walk around naked and
That's right.
tattered. and-
That's right.
Shame on us.
That's right.
Grab it, let's go to the store right now. Put something on your body.
That's right.
Now she refused, that's one. But shame on you if you don't say nothing.
That's right.
That's right.
Scared to fight your daughters. Scared to fight your sons. Your mama fought you, didn't she? Didn't she?
Yes, sir.
You know she did. Your mama fought you. Scared to fight your son. Well, we ain't in homes. So that's the problem. We ain't even in the house.
Come on, come on.
Go ahead.
We ain't even in the house to fight our sons.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
Mama, fight your son.
That's right.
Fight him all the way.
That's
Pull his
right.
pants. I don't
That's
care how
right.
big and
That's
6
right.
foot, whatever,
That's
200,
right.
whatever.
That's right.
Fight him down.
That's right.
Go ahead. Tell them.
Shame on us. Get our act together.
That's right.
Tell the truth.
That's the reason why they disrespect us.
That's
like
right.
that, because we ain't handling our business.
That's correct. That's right. That's correct.
Shame on us. Shame on us if we eating 3-4 times a day.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Shame on you.
Come on.
Yes,
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Shame on us if we got to keep going to the doctor's office over and over and over
That's right.
for stuff that we should stop doing.
That's right.
Shame on us. But that is stopping us right there.
That's right.
Right.
Shame on us.
Yep.
That's a whole teaching right there.
Yes,
That's it. Come on. Come on with it. That's right. Come on with it.
That ain't my message. But
Put it in there.
because this is the Holocaust, we can't perpetuate our own
Come
Holocaust.
on. That's right. That's right.
We can't perpetuate the Holocaust that was placed upon us. Now it's self-generating.
Come on. That's right.
That was the design.
That's right.
We're supposed to stop the process
That's right.
so we can move forward.
That's right.
But see, when we came up with the National Black Holocaust holiday, this was years ago.
That's right.
It was because people had forgotten about what we
Come on.
went through.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
People forgot about what we went through.
That's right.
Because we were, first of all, ashamed of who we were.
That's right.
So we didn't want to talk about slavery.
Didn't want to be an April Fool.
We didn't want to identify with it. So we didn't want to deal with it. But in the process of healing, we got to deal with our past.
That's right.
And our forefathers that went through slavery, our forefathers and foremothers, they need to be memorialized.
That's right.
Because many of them died. And part of self-determination of a people is that they establish their own traditions,
That's right.
holidays.
That's right.
So we established April 1st
That's right.
as the National Black Holocaust Memorial Day
Yes, sir.
to recognize those that died, our ancestors,
That's right.
and those that continue to die in our struggle. So we thank you for that moment. But in the same time, I understand sometimes why our people don't want to dwell on it, because it's depressing.
That's right.
And we're depressed enough.
That's right.
But those who forget their history
That's right.
are doomed to repeat it.
That's right.
And somehow we keep seeing some of the same stuff happening over and over again.
That's right.
So that we never let it happen again, we will never forget what has happened. But also we want to shed light on our future.
Yes, sir.
Because the journey to our future will involve a journey through our past.
Yes, sir.
You cannot forget your past, particularly as you are planning your future.
Yes, sir.
It's not that we want to drive this course and look through the rear view mirror of life continuously. We can't do that.
That's right.
But as we drive through life, you got to glance at your rear view mirror
That's right.
every so often.
That's right.
That's right.
Because if you forget and see what's coming up and you're not paying attention to what's behind you,
That's right.
you're going to run into some problems.
That's right.
So, Travon, and I'm going to start here, is a reminder
That's right.
that justice is not served.
That's right.
That's right.
And that we have to continue to fight for justice.
Yes, sir.
And justice for the Muslim, for the lost foundation of Islam. Justice for us is part of our principles.
That's right.
Freedom, justice, equality, Islam.
That's right.
We fight for justice.
Yes,
All right.
We stand for justice. And where justice is denied to any one of us, is justice denied to all of us.
That's right.
Not just the Muslims, but Afro-descendant people, period. So we stand up and we support Travon, his family, but all of the people. Many of them are forgotten. A sister died in the, was sent out of the ER room and was sent to jail and died in jail.
That's right.
Senselessly, but no news. But it's happening all the time.
Yes, sir. That's right.
We've got to stop the Holocaust. Let me get into it. Now I'm gonna do some work now. Y'all gotta stick with me. I came to work.
Okay. Go ahead.
I came to work.
All right.
And while you gotta, the idea is to expand your mind,
Yes, sir.
to open your mind so that you can think. I wish I could sing, I can't sing. I wish I could play the piano, I can't. I can't entertain you. Only thing I can do is give you truth. I can only do what my leader and teacher, the Honorable Silas Muhammad, has taught me to do, is to give you truth.
Yes, sir.
And that the truth will set you free.
Yes, sir.
And truth from one particular person's point of view. Okay? And you make a decision from there about how you will proceed and proceed forward in life. But I'm starting where it all started at.
Yes, sir.
We'll start with the Bible
That's right. Wake us up.
and talk about us as a people. Do y'all mind?
No, please, man.
All right.
Teach us.
Genesis 15:13.
Yes.
And God said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. And they shall serve them, and they shall be afflicted 400 years. Now that was put in the Bible.
That's right.
Now we found out that no other people, according to our history, has fulfilled this prophecy of being a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and being afflicted and served here in a place for 400 years. That has not happened to any other people except the Afro-descendant people right here.
Yes, sir.
I just want to start there
Yes, sir.
because I want you to remember this particular verse. I want you to remember where it came from. Because somebody used this to enslave us.
That's right.
Afflicted and served for 400 years.
Yes, sir.
Why April 1st? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught that Master Farad Muhammad taught us that the first English ship that was brought to America was a ship named Jesus.
Yes, sir.
And it was.
That's right.
I did my research. It was a ship named Jesus, and the captain was Captain John Hawkins.
That's right.
The ship was called Jesus of Lubeck. Lubeck is a shipbuilding town in Germany. So it's Jesus of Lubeck. And Captain John Hawkins was a English ship captain who was related to Francis Drake. They were pirates.
That's right.
We just call it what it is.
That's right.
The English called them privateers. Pirates. What do pirates do? They steal.
That's right.
John Hawkins captained the ship named Jesus of Lubeck. Give you some history on it. I won't spend too much time on this. But at that time of 1555, the Spanish and Portuguese had already invaded Africa.
Yes, sir.
And was stealing gold and stealing human beings. And the English had not engaged in that particular trade as of yet. The Spanish under Columbus had already went into the Americas as of 1492.
Correct.
Before 1555.
Yes, sir. That's right.
And they found the gold.
Yes, sir.
The Spanish ships were much larger. And the English couldn't fight them, so they went to the Germans to build a ship named Jesus. And the term Jesus in Spanish is Jesus. So John Hawkins, being slick, figured that he could come into the Americas with a ship named Jesus or Jesus and go under the protection of the Spanish. In fact, he even held a Spanish flag over his ship to trick the Spanish. But what clearly he was doing was stealing slaves.
That's right.
In fact, 300 slaves are in the bottom of the ocean on that ship. The ship was sunken in a battle. And John Hawkins, captain's supposed to die with his ship, right?
That's right.
John Hawkins jumped off the ship and left the 300, took the gold, took the silver, took all the merchandise, but left 300 slaves to die at the bottom of the ocean. Spirituals and songs have been made about Jesus getting back on that ship named Jesus to take us back home. So we recognize April 1st, 1555, because April 1st, 1555 recognizes the day when the English slave trade began. We recognize that day.
Yes, right. Yes, sir.
The Spanish had already started it, but what language do we speak here in America?
English.
English.
Yes, sir.
Hawkins was an English slave trader. And while April 1st is traditionally in America recognized as a day as April Fool's Day,
That's right.
Right.
the joke was played on us.
That's right.
Because we were tricked to get on those
That's
slave
right.
ships.
That's right.
That's right.
We were tricked. We were told that we can go get more gold
That's right.
than we had in Africa.
Yes, sir.
Where can you get more gold than this in Africa? You can't. But we were tricked by the slave trader. We were tricked and then shackled on the Gore Islands.
Yes, sir.
We were tricked and shackled in the processing stations in West Africa and brought over here to the Americas. Let me go back even further.
Come on.
I'm gonna get to the political, but I gotta create a picture.
Yes, sir.
Prior to Columbus, prior to John Hawkins, there was a war in Europe. And Islam, Africans, the Muslims, had conquered all of Europe.
That's right.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, sir.
That's it.
And once the war was at the end, the Catholic Church began to write political documents known as papal bulls. The papal bull of 1452 from Nicholas IV authorizes Alfonso V, the King of Portugal, to reduce any Muslims, pagans, and other unbelievers to perpetual slavery. Perpetual slavery. Meaning the church made it legal to enslave human beings, particularly non-believers. That was known in Spanish history as the Inquisition.
That's right.
The Inquisition, you remember, we didn't pay attention.
Come on, teach, minister.
I know. We didn't pay attention. I remember that class, but we didn't pay attention.
Come on.
But the Inquisition was basically Spanish retaliation against the Moors or the North Africans or the Muslims. It was an extermination process, which basically gave legal right to enslave. Okay. 1455, under Nicholas V, sanctifies the seizure of non-Christian lands discovered during the Age of Discovery and encourages the enslavement of natives. Okay? What that sound like? Slavery.
Yes, sir.
The church authorizing slavery.
That's right.
1456, confirmed the bull. There's another bull, I'm naming the dates these bulls were written. And gave the Portuguese order of Christ the spiritualities of all lands acquired to be acquired. Meaning that the church had the right to get all the land. If they take Africa, they can take it. If they take Western Hemisphere, they can take it. They got the right. Here's a big one. 1456 announces the fall of Constantinople and seeks funding for another crusade against the Turks. What was Constantinople? It was the capital of Turkey, which at that time was the headquarters of the Islamic Empire. Symbolized the fall of Islamic power. Move on. 1478 authorizes Ferdinand and Isabella to appoint inquisitioners, which created the Spanish Inquisition. 1493, a year after Columbus, divides the New World between Spain and Portugal. It called for indigenous people to be subjugated so the Christian empire and its doctrines would be propagated. Now notice I said Spanish and Portugal.
That's right.
English wasn't in power. They weren't involved in it. Okay?
Okay.
The Spanish had the bigger ships. The Portuguese had the bigger ships. Then in 1555, John Hawkins comes along. Now, slavery had already started
That's right.
in Chile. Slavery had already started in the Western Hemisphere. But not in the North America where we are. I'm talking about where we are right now. I'm making the case. So, point is, in this particular, in recognizing these papal bulls, is that this was sanctioned and authorized by the church.
That's right. That's right.
The Bible helped enslave us.
That's right.
Come on.
It gave authority for principalities and governments to enslave us. A spiritual Holocaust.
Yes, sir.
And it was directly against us and our people who were Muslims
That's right.
prior to coming here,
That's right.
our original people. I want to read this. I'm finished with John Hawkins.
Me too.
You are too, sister.
Yes, sir.
But the point is, April 1st, 1555 is a symbolic date in which we recognize as the beginning of the Holocaust of black people. 1492 is the beginning of a Holocaust for indigenous peoples throughout the Western Hemisphere.
That's right.
Columbus was responsible for murdering more people.
That's right.
He was a murderer.
That's right.
Here is a statement from our queen, Bashaki Muhammad. Our experience is an example for the civilized world of a Holocaust wherein identity is exterminated. Within our experience is the example of the means that a state can use to forcibly, intentionally, and permanently sever a people from their identity. Within our experience is the example of how a people in such a deprived condition by their very nature and against terrible opposition will seek without rest to find their lost identity. Within our experience is the example of how a state systematically, for the benefit of the majority, can obstruct the attempts of a people to identify themselves. Within our experience is the example of what extraordinary damage can be sustained when a people's identity is lost and the identity of the majority is forced upon them. Because of our experience with plantation slavery, we know how human dignity is attached to identity. We are a people living within the United States as a minority. Without identity, we have no legal, political status or recognition internationally. No respect from the majority population domestically, and no dignity among our fellow human beings.
That's right. That's right.
Least Travon.
That's right.
You wouldn't treat a person who is recognized as a human being like they did.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
They did what they did. They do what they
That's
do
right.
because they do not see us or recognize us as human beings.
That's right.
Michael Vick.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
I like Michael Vick.
Yes,
Don't get me
sir.
wrong. He's one of the baddest black men running with a football.
Yes, sir.
I mean, but brother got arrested for conspiring to dog fight or whatever. Did time, arrested immediately.
Yes, sir.
Somebody kills a black man,
Don't go to jail.
he ain't in jail. The police act as jury and judge. And because of his white privilege,
That's right.
is allowed to forego any type of judge or jury because of white privilege.
That's right. That's right.
See, we don't know what white privilege is. You don't know nothing about it.
No, we don't.
But they do. We are human beings.
That's right.
We are a civilized people. And we must get back to humanity. This is what I'm driving through. Our humanity was lost through the transatlantic slave trade.
That's right. That's right.
We were forced and stolen out of Africa. Stolen out of Africa. Robbed of our language. Robbed of our religion.
Yes, sir.
Robbed of our God. Robbed of our land. Robbed of everything. To be reduced to a people of nothing. Only to be identified as slaves or former slaves. Our humanity must be restored.
Yes, sir.
And the way that we restore our humanity is by seeking justice.
That's right.
And through self-determination. It's just like we're doing right now.
Yes, sir.
We are self-determining.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Establishing our own holiday is an act of self-determination.
That's right.
An act of, I'm moving too
Yes.
fast. Slow down.
Slow down.
I'm taking my time.
That's right.
Okay.
We've got to retrace the origins of who we are. The origins of the Afro-descendant diaspora. This is where I go to do the work. See, we're fighting for our human rights.
That's right.
As the Queen said, we're fighting to be recognized as Afro-descendants. And it's not going to be an easy task. We are a diasporic people. What does that mean, the diaspora? The term diaspora means scattering of seeds.
That's right. That's right.
It refers to the movement of any population sharing a common ethnic identity who were either forced to leave or voluntarily left a settled territory and became residents in an area or far removed from the former. In converse to nomadic people, diasporic people were forced out.
Yes, sir. Right.
See, we were forced out of Africa, and now the diasporic people exist in America, in Jamaica, in the Caribbean, in Central America, in South America, in Canada. We're all over. That is known as the diaspora, where we were forced to. Y'all with me, right?
Yes, sir.
Diasporic cultural development often assumes a different course from that of the population of original place and settlement. We are known, even though we identify emotionally with Africa, diasporic people have a cultural different. Similar but different than that of the former. It tends to vary in culture traditions. The last vestige of cultural affliction in a diaspora is often found in community resistance to language change and in maintenance of religious practice. Now, it don't just apply to black people. Jewish diaspora, the Roman diaspora, the Romas, the indigenous people diaspora. It's an international term where people were forcibly moved out. But we, as Afro-descendant people, so-called African Americans, so-called Afro-Brazilians, so-called Afro-Peruvians, we are an example of diasporic people. Bear with me. So we have diasporic cultures, arts, humanities. We speak different languages. There's people in Panama who speak Spanish. How did they get to Panama?
Question.
How did those African people get to Panama? How did those African people get to Jamaica? How did those African people get to Peru? Through the transatlantic slave trade.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
How did those African people get to Canada? Let's break it even home.
That's That's right.
How did we get to College Park?
Yes, sir.
How'd you get to Decatur? Do your research now.
That's right.
How'd you get to Georgia, South Carolina, Louisiana, Florida?
That's right.
How'd you get to Washington State? How'd you get to California? Diaspora cultures. We come from places now, we trace our history back to Mecca, Arabia. We trace our history through a family called Shabazz.
That's right.
We trace our history that we are original people that were lost from the knowledge of self. We trace our history to West Africa when this process began, this Holocaust, to great civilizations of Dahomey. You familiar with the people of Dahomey?
That's right.
In West Africa, the kingdom of Dahomey, which is part of the Republic of Benin. The kingdom of Dahomey was a state founded in the 17th century and survived until 1894. The Mali Empire. I'm telling you who you were. When they got you, this is what was going down.
That's right.
This is what I'm painting for you.
That's right.
When they came into Africa, contrary to what they told you, they want you to believe that we were sitting around looking crazy.
That's right. That's right.
We were sitting around naked.
That's right.
We were sitting around hunting with spears.
That's right.
That we were sitting around like a Tarzan movie.
Right.
Looking scared.
Uh-huh.
Looking crazy. We didn't have combs. That's what they want you to believe.
That's
We
right.
didn't have brushes.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We didn't have dentists.
That's
We
right.
didn't have doctors. We weren't doing science. We didn't have university. We didn't have books. Didn't know how to. That's what they want you to believe.
That's right.
But when they came and got you, you had kingdoms and civilizations
That's right.
already set up.
That's right.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They came and got Dahomey people.
That's right. That's right.
That's who you are.
That's right.
When they came and got people from the Mali Empire.
That's right.
They didn't just get anybody.
That's right.
It was a war going on.
That's right.
They went and captured kings, queens, warriors, soldiers, doctors,
right.
lawyers, and enslaved them. What good would they do to enslave anybody else and keep the kings, keep the queens, keep the doctors?
Right.
That civilization would still be intact
That's
today,
right.
right?
That's right. That's
The
right.
kingdoms fell because they took the leadership
That's right.
and enslaved them.
That's right.
And Africa has fallen ever since
That's
because
right.
the
That's
people
right.
that were in leadership, they're not there anymore.
That's right. That's right.
The Mali Empire, which ranged from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to Timbuktu.
Yes, sir.
The great universities and libraries of Timbuktu. Man. The Mali Empire ran from 1230 to 1600. Before Columbus. Their empire was founded by Sundiata and became renowned for the wealth of its ruler, especially Mansa Musa. You familiar with Mansa Musa? The brother had so much gold. He took it to Saudi Arabia on a Hajj, and Saudi Arabia suffered from hyperinflation for many years. Mansa Musa was a Muslim.
That's right.
This is who, I'm talking about the blood that's in you. See, they want you to believe that you came from nothing. The Songhai Empire, from 1100 to 1600, the Songhai. Askia the Great.
Yes, sir. Teach us.
Askia the Great. You let it roll. Then following that empire, the Moorish Empire.
That's right.
Went to Europe. Showed them how to do underground plumbing.
That's
It was a fact.
Every time you go in the bathroom and you grab a roll of toilet paper, thank the Moorish people.
That's right.
We showed them sanitation,
Yes.
plumbing, the facts that there are sinks in bathrooms that came from our people.
That's right.
Libraries, Great Library of Cordova, Grenada,
Yes, sir.
the architect. Every time you see arches
All right.
and
That's right.
arcs and
That's right.
tile work,
Do it.
That's right.
that came from us.
All right, sir.
But they want to put in your mind that you was running around naked and show you pictures of that all day long.
That's right.
We were importing fabrics from China.
All right.
We were already doing trade with the Native Americans in Western Hemisphere.
Yes, sir.
In West Africa, they call corn maize. In South America, they call it maize. How did that happen? The white man didn't do it.
That's right.
That was happening thousands of years before that time.
That's right.
Columbus's navigator
Yes.
was a black man.
Come on.
Right. We know it. Got it first.
Hey, while they was contemplating that the world was flat, we already knew the world was round.
Come on.
They thought they would go to some point and fall over and go into what, I don't know. But the reason we knew the world was round because we developed calculus.
That's right.
Right.
Come on.
And calculus, I'm all out of my element right. Let me stay on this right here.
Deep, man.
But the picture, see the picture. And see how it affects these young boys. And how it affects these, because the image
Yes.
of greatness was removed
That's
from
right.
our mind.
That's right. That's right.
The great generals,
Yes, sir.
Hannibal,
Yes, sir. He's your hand.
the sister generals, Candace,
That's right.
Tai,
That's right.
Nefertari, great sisters who led civilizations and armies,
That's right.
built universities. The plan was to destroy us.
That's right.
In the plan.
To destroy us, to get the best, and take us far away. And that's what they did.
That's right.
The Atlantic migration from 1450 to 1867. 1450, I'm predating John Hawkins. From 1450 to 1600, 3.6% of the number of slaves were identified between that period, less than 1 million. From 1600 to 1700, a 100-year period, it increased to 12%. From 1701 to 1800, 53%, and from 1801 to 1867, 30%. The greatest period of slaves taken out of Africa happened between 1700 and 1800. In direct relationship to that period of our greatness. I'm just showing you, while all that was going on, what we were doing. The largest port in America where slaves came in at was right here in Georgia. The largest port was in Savannah and Charleston.
Come on. Come on.
More slaves
That's right.
came in through that port than any other region in in America. Right here in Georgia. It had the worst processing treatment than any other
That's right.
in the Western Hemisphere.
That's right.
They broke them down. Oh, but before that, they broke you down. First, they broke you down on the west coast of Africa, Goree Island. Then they took you to the Caribbean and broke you down further. Okay? In Jamaica, Puerto Rico. Where do you think they get these names? Puerto Rico. Rich port. From what? Slavery.
Come on.
When you see the Bastilles and those forts, what were they forts for what? To protect the institution of slavery.
That's right.
So from Jacksonville to Savannah to Charleston, you see an influx of people from West Africa coming into that particular area. The majority of us came from the Gold Coast, Benin, the Dahomey people, Benin, Sierra Leone, Gambia. The largest ports were the Carolinas, Georgia, then Virginia, Maryland. I mean, all this information is online.
That's
can
right.
get it. But we were throughout the diaspora. More slaves were taken to Brazil. In fact, the population of Brazil is larger than the population of America in terms of Afro-descendant people.
That's right.
Colombia, the Caribbeans. We are scattered throughout. Our migrations. I'm talking about who we are. The transatlantic slave trade from 1450 to 1867. The runaway journey. That's when we started to run away. 1630 to 1865. That's when we started to leave the plantations. See, it got to a particular point in time where some of us just was running away. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
At some point, you got to just run away.
That's right.
Colonization and immigration from 1783 to 1910. Haitian immigration from 1791 to 1805. I'm talking about migrations because I'm going somewhere with this. Migrations is something that's not new to us as a people.
That's right.
Slavery, even though it was a terrible thing, it's a migration. The Western migration. That's when blacks left the South and went west. Whether we escaped the plantations from 1840 to 1970. Some of us left the plantation.
That's right.
And went west. And it existed amongst the Cherokee,
That's right.
the Sioux, the Blackfoot. Joined the Sioux Nation, Cherokee Nation, other nations, other peoples, and hid.
That's right.
And you see populations of black people in Oklahoma, Texas.
That's right.
Okay? Then we've got the northern migration from 1840 to 1890. Blacks that escaped the South and went north above the Mason-Dixon line to go up north and find more discrimination,
That's right.
more hurt.
That's right.
Part of that northern migration was blacks that escaped and went to Canada.
That's right.
There were some blacks that escaped and went to the islands. There's a group of black people that left and went through Florida and rode canoe boats to the Bahamas. And then, you know, if you get to Key West, Florida, it ain't but 90 miles to Cuba.
Yes, sir.
There's a group of black people that were going back, on a little boat.
That's right.
Make it play. That's it.
There's been escapes and migrations. That ain't nothing new.
That's right.
We've been resisting.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
The northern migrations. We left Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, North Carolina. Where did we go? Chicago, Ohio, New York, Kansas City. Shout it out. You know where your mom is. You know where y'all left from. LA. You know black people ain't from LA. You can't get South Side. You know ain't no black ain't no New York original. Y'all came from somewhere. You know that you go through the hoods of Chicago, New York, Philly, you smell collard greens. You know that. You know your granddaddy sold watermelons through the neighborhood from down south. Come on now. People get to Chicago and act like they ain't from down south.
Oh, boy.
The Great Migration from 1916 to 1930. That's when the largest migration occurred from the South. That was World War I.
That's right.
The greatest, known as the second Great Migration, was 1940 to 1970. Now you know where your parents, you know when you've left. That was the greater migration, World War II. What were we escaping? Every time, what were we escaping?
The white man.
Racism, injustice, looking for economic opportunity. Think about all the migrations. Listen to the stories in your mind. Why your mama left? Why your granddaddy left? Why you left? Why'd you come here? What was it about? Looking for better what? Opportunities, better situations.
That's right.
The Caribbean migration from 1900 to present. Caribbean people from the Caribbean leaving the Caribbean coming here.
That's right.
To the States. Then you got the return to the South migration.
That's right.
From 1970 to now.
That's right.
Y'all return back to the South.
That's right. Yes, we did.
Right.
Who returned back now? I didn't raise your hand. You came back. What was that about? You got tired of them hoods. You got tired of the ghetto.
Right.
You got tired of them little row houses.
Yeah.
You got tired of them cops in Boston.
That's right.
You got tired of them cops in Philly bombing you. You got tired of the police brutality. You got tired of the slums in New York. And you return south.
That's right.
Then you got an African migration of Africans who left Africa and came to the United States.
That's right.
But why did they leave Africa? Looking for what?
More
Opportunity, justice from whatever was going on in Africa. So the fact that we are people who are accustomed to migrating when looking for better opportunity is nothing new.
That's right. That's right.
That's nothing new. But we're at a point in time in 2012 where we done covered every corner of the United States. From South Beach, Florida, to Northwest Coast, Seattle, from Southwest California to Northeast Maine, from New Orleans to Fargo, North Dakota, as far as you can go. We done covered it all, looking for opportunity. Okay? But opportunity exists in what you make and what you create.
That's right.
What you make and what you create.
That's right.
And now we've explored education, we've explored working, we've explored all these things. We've built the greatest nation on the planet at one time.
That's right.
We built it
Yes, we did.
on our blood, sweat, and tears.
That's right.
But now we're tired.
That's right.
We've lost our identity. And the key identifier of identity is language. Our Savior, our Queen, have identified inside of international law, Article 27, which states, in those states in which ethnic, religious, or linguistic minorities exist, persons belonging to such minorities shall not be denied in community with other members of their group to enjoy their own culture, to profess and practice their own religion, or to use their own language. That's an international human right, which we've been denied continuously.
Yes, sir.
The process of slavery, the whole process of taking the slave, separating the baby from the mother. If you read, your eyes will burn out. If you spoke your own tongue, your tongue was cut out.
That's right.
If you taught or wrote, your hands were cut off.
Right.
That's a process
That's right.
of to kill a people.
That's right. That's
And I'm not talking about it happened for 1 year. I'm not talking about it happened for a decade. I'm not talking about it happened for 20 years. I'm talking about 400 years.
Yes, sir.
Well documented. The prophets have predicted it would happen. Well documented. Our human rights have been denied. That's why they treat us the way that they treat us.
Right. That's right.
And see, what I mean by human, I'm not talking about how you feel.
Okay.
You might feel like I'm a human being, but how you treat it
All right.
and the laws.
That's right.
You might feel like I'm black and I'm proud, but to them, black is just a feeling. It's an emotion. It doesn't come with any rights.
That's right.
It doesn't come with any protections. Like a Native American can say, I'm Native American, I'm Sioux, I'm Blackfoot, and it might mean protection. No protection for us. So in those cases where we were denied, we sought to find one, and that was the issue of mother tongue. And today, while our language was taken away, we don't know what language our foremothers spoke.
That's right.
Because we don't know where exactly we came from. We don't know if we came from Gambia. We don't know if we came from Senegal. We don't know if we came from Benin or Nigeria or Angola. We don't know if we came from Egypt, South Africa. We don't know. That knowledge was robbed from us.
That's right. Right.
So today we speak broken languages with Africanized sounds, known as patois, right?
That's right.
You hear the people of Jamaican, you know, y'all say that Jamaican language. That ain't a language.
That's right.
That's English with Africanized sounds.
Yes, sir.
Creoles. Broken languages of either French and Africanized tongues.
Yes, sir.
You speak it now, don't you?
Sonic.
Brother say Ibani.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Now the devils, they say walking with a G. And y'all say walk in,
Walking.
talking, bacon, that there, that. You know, your tongue, Africanized sounds don't pronounce the TH properly. You know we don't. Y'all know your when you get your Africanized tongue, it starts speaking. What's that? Who that? What that? You know what it means.
Yes, sir.
That's your Africanized sounds. That's part of the language. Because in Africanized languages, there is no TH. There is no NG. So don't beat your kid too hard the next time they say it. They're only speaking with that Africanized tongue. We remain some of our morals, our taboos that have come with us through that process. What are more, but these things have slipped through. What I mean by taboos? You know, y'all say, don't wear white after Labor Day.
That's
That's one of them. Where'd that come from?
That's right.
Don't cut the baby's hair before it's 1 year old.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Man gotta walk in the house first, be New Year's Eve and all that stuff. Where'd that come from? Old traditions you slipped, that came through the process. And y'all know the many of them. Y'all can go on and on and on and on. But these are things that we have carried on with us through slavery that identifies us as a people. But while those traditions and languages are lost, and we still have those taboos, those morals, those dishes, the music, the drums, the Africanized sounds, we are in a process, a political process of ethnogenesis.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Muhammad has taught us that the term ethnogenesis means it's a process by which a group of human beings comes to be understood or to understand themselves ethnically, distinct from the wider social landscape from which their grouping emerged. By self-reinvention, ethnic groups are present at their own creation, meaning that at this particular time, we are creating a new identity as a people.
That's right.
There's a new people being created amongst us. That's why we even though we love Africa, we go back to Africa, we go to Africa and we find out there's a distinct difference between us and African people. They don't accept us the same.
That's right.
We're Muslim. We go to the Muslim world and find out the Muslims say, y'all ain't Muslim.
That's what they say.
Sister, dress like a Muslim, pray like a Muslim. They say, you ain't Muslim. Same way black people go to the Catholics and they tell the Catholics say you ain't Christian. Okay. There's an ethnogenesis coming amongst us. We identify with ourselves. A new people is created through a process. Slavery, the process of slavery, our fight for justice, our 400 years in the Western Hemisphere created a whole new people.
Yes, sir. Right. Think about it.
We created a music,
Yes, sir.
jazz,
Yes, sir.
Yes, we did.
blues, R&B, hip-hop.
That's right.
All those are ethnogenic cultural properties.
That's right.
Okay. Our fashion, dress, styles, all that is an example of a new people created. Our expressions. A people creating a nation. Establishing themselves. Establishing a God. A people who take the Bible and the Quran and use them together.
Yes, right.
Unheard of
That's right.
in the world.
That's right. That's right.
In the world, they're usually fighting.
Yeah.
The Bible right, the Quran right. Wait, we done found a way to use both of them.
That's right.
No other people in the world. That's how bad we are.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great, man.
They over, you know what I'm saying? They over there fighting.
That's right.
You so bad, you done took both of them.
That's right.
If it's that bad, if it's good for them, they powerful. It's good for them, they powerful. Look, let's use both of them. We got to do something.
Yes, sir.
I ain't gonna argue.
That's right.
Bob Marley said, brother, you right, you right, you
That's
right,
right.
you right, you so right. What he's saying is quit fighting each other. You right.
Yes, sir.
We gotta get up.
That's right.
Stop fighting.
Yes, sir.
Especially about religion.
That's right.
Yes.
That's the most wasteful time. You right. Somebody gonna argue with you about religion, tell them, you right. Now what we gotta do? Jesus was the Son of God. You right. What we gonna do now? Prophet Muhammad was the last message. You right, brother. You right. You so right. But let's go and do something.
Yes, sir.
Sister, you right.
Yes, sir.
God was a woman. Sister, you right. However you wanna, sister, you right. Ain't I got nothing of it. Jesus is a spirit. Yes, it is. Inside a man. So you right. Let's go. Quit fighting about this. Quit arguing. Put religion in your pocket.
Yes, sir.
And take it home and let it work for you at home. And amongst each other.
Yes.
I mean, when we get amongst each other, we know enough about Christianity, we know enough about it, we know all about it that we can accept all of it.
Yes, sir.
So in this process of ethnogenesis, a new people were created. The lost foundation of Islam is an example of a people created from ethnogenesis. The political pressure of slavery The political pressure of Jim Crow segregation caused this formation. That we needed our own protection.
That's right.
When the laws were insufficient to protect us, we found means to protect ourselves. When the religion could not, when the God of the Bible did not come and rescue us, our own God created came and rescued us.
That's right.
We became the answer to our own prayers. We are a people formed out of necessity. A nation. When the nation that we fought for in wars, we fought in the American Revolution, Spanish, what was this one? Civil War, American, call it Vietnam. We fought in every major war and battle in this country.
That's right.
Only to come back to find the same injustice. Can you imagine a soldier that's over there in Afghanistan right now fighting for the United States of America come back and be another Travon Martin?
Right.
It's happening.
That's right. That's right.
You see a new people. So after being denied justice in these states in which we live, after being denied justice in the states in which other Afro-descendants live, whether it be Jamaica, whether it be Nicaragua, whether it be Panama, whether it be Peru, we sought to go outside of those states where we were minorities in existence and sought the protection and help from the United Nations. The Honorable Silas Muhammad and our Queen Mashaki Muhammad in 1989 first traveled to The Hague in the Netherlands to get training on how to approach the UN. And then it would be 1990 that he would announce to seek assistance from the United Nations. In 1993, the statements were written, and then the process began subsequent years for intervention and oral statements inside the United Nations. And from that process of giving interventions and writing and getting help from outside of the United States, we found out that we did not have our human rights.
That's right.
We were not in possession of human rights.
That's right.
In fact, according to the international community, we did not exist.
That's what it says.
We were basically as people just here
Where do we find?
with no protection as a people. See, in our minds, we were black people. And I mean, that's how some of us still feel. I'm black.
Yes.
But black is an emotion. It's a feeling. It's not recognized internationally or politically to identify a people.
Right.
The same way somebody from Jamaica can say, I'm Jamaican, it gives them protection. We did not exist. Thus, we had to go and get assistance to find out where we fit.
That's right.
And we sought and found protection in the working group on minorities. And we were aided down that stream only to find out that the UN was destroyed.
That's right.
But before that, we met up with other Afro-descendants. We connected with other people who experienced what we experienced, the 400 years of slavery.
That's right.
We thought we were only focusing on what's happening to us here in America. But we found that there were other people who was going through what we were going through in other countries. And we began to unite. And we began to self-identify. And we established our internationally recognized identity as Afro-descendants.
That's right.
So the term Afro-descendants was formed out of this process of ethnogenesis.
Yes, sir.
Afro-descendants are people who were forced through the process of the transatlantic slave trade.
Come on.
lost their language, culture, identity through that process, and were enslaved in another land and exist as minorities in those states where they live. Okay? These are Afro-descendants. And that's what makes us different from people of African descent, is the process of the transatlantic slave trade.
That's right.
People of African descent still have their language, their names. Example, Barack Obama.
That's right.
He's a person recognized internationally as someone of African descent.
That's right.
Because he still has his grandmother's mother tongue. They speak Kiswahili. The Obama is his grandfather's name and grandfather's name and grandma. It goes on. You don't know yours.
That's right.
He knows that he comes from Kenya.
That's right.
Okay? So he is identified internationally as a person of African descent.
Yes, that's right.
Who's the brother y'all like? Malik Yoba. No, it's not Malik, is it? No, what's the other brother?
Idris Elba?
Idris Elba. That's the one the sisters like. No, Idris Elba. He knows his descent. Even though he resides in England,
Right.
he knows his people came from Africa. He knows what country. He knows the language. He still speaks some of the language. Okay? The same thing, brother, with other people of African descent. Afro-descendants are particularly identified as people who went through the process of the transatlantic slave trade, exist in minorities in the states in which they live. We number some 250 million. We have fought together to establish ourselves and our identity. Because in order to get justice, a person has to be recognized. Okay? Particularly in the national community. The reason why we couldn't officially get justice in the UN, because we did not exist.
That's right.
As a people. As a people. See, we've been in the 60s, we were shocked. We are black people, but that officially did not exist anywhere other than an emotion.
Yes.
So now, since through those many years of interventions, through that mass work at the United Nations, we joined on collectively with other Afro-descendants.
Yes, sir.
To form Afro-descendant people.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Recognized officially now by the United Nations.
Yes, sir.
In 2006, we put together a document, a regional perspective on Afro-descendant quality of life, where we documented the quality of life of Afro-descendant people throughout the diaspora. And what you find is all those conditions are about the same.
That's right.
What you going through here in America with Travon is going on in Colombia. It's going on in Brazil. Sister, you lived in Brazil? Same old same.
Yes, sir.
Same old same. If you lived anywhere else, Afro-descendant people suffer the same, for the same reason, lack of recognition and no political voice in the world. That was a major accomplishment. To be recognized.
That's right.
Now the term Afro-descendant and who Afro-descendants are is a politically recognized term, recognized by other nations.
That's right.
The people of China have recognized
That's right.
Afro-descendants.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. But it's important for Afro-descendants to accept being
That's
Afro-descendants.
right.
That's right. That's
It's one thing for another government to recognize
That's right.
but the country that you're complaining about won't recognize you unless you recognize
That's
yourself
right. Yes,
Sir.
right.
as Afro-descendant. Why must, and you say, well, here we go with another name. Yeah, here we go with another name. Problem with the other names, it was names that was given to us by somebody else.
Yes, sir.
Afro-descendant is what we chose
Yes,
as a people.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And it's an internationally recognized name.
That's right.
It's like an international passport.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
There are Afro-descendants from countries with the same common struggle. They look like us.
Yes, sir.
They're mixed with different tribes like us. They're mixed with native, indigenous people, mixed with Caucasian, mixed with our oppressors, mixed with Asian. That's Afro-descendants, a mosaic people. A mosaic people. While we have moved forward to get recognized in the United Nations, establishing our political position in the world, the work that the UN did was just to recognize us globally. But what the UN also said, as a human being, you also have a right to self-determine. It's one thing to say, we came from kings. We came from a great nation. And we did that, right? We say that, right?
Yes, sir.
What you gonna do about it?
Yeah, what you gonna do about it?
Well, what did we do about it? We reestablished it.
Right. Give us the facts.
We came from a great nation. Well, we're going to reestablish a great nation. I know we've been establishing great churches. I know. But we ain't came from, to establish a great church ain't enough. Establish a great mosque ain't enough. You came from a great nation.
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Okay?
That's right.
Sister, don't talk about it, be about it. All right.
That's what it is.
You talk about, well, we came from kings and queens. All right. Reestablish it.
That's right.
But that's what the Lost Foundation of Islam has done. Reestablished the great nation. Reestablished the kingdom, the queendom. Reestablished it amongst us. We started back in 1998 in Miami with the formation of our government, forming the Senate, then the House, then the judiciary, then the executive branch. We now have a government.
That's right.
Who did it? You did it. Who made you do it? You did. Then we established a constitution of the Afro-descendant nation.
That's right.
Then we established our monarchy and put our queen, Queen Mashaki Muhammad, at the head of the monarchy.
That's right.
A woman, a sister. After being put so lowly in the world,
That's right.
our sister,
Yes.
we established her at the top
That's
of our
right.
civilization.
That's right.
All praise. Put a sister
Yes, sir.
at the right place.
At the right time.
At the right place, at the top of civilization. That's an example of what the United Nations says is self-determination.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just because they recognize you don't mean they're going to help you all the way. You've got to do something to establish who you are.
That's right.
You can't talk about being from greatness and you're not reestablishing it.
That's right.
So preachers, ministers, I know you could build great churches, but we got to build great nations.
That's right.
So we ask, in the end, what am I asking? That you recognize your international political identifying term as Afro-descendants. Accept it.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't change whether you're a Christian. It doesn't change whether you're a Muslim, Hebrew, whatever. But internationally, accept your international recognizable term as Afro-descendant.
Yes, sir.
It's already out there. It speaks to what we've been through. Afro-descendant people number some 43 million. And I'm going back to that self-determination again. We have self-determined that we have covered every corner here in America.
That's right.
And it's time for us to explore opportunities outside of America.
That's right.
That's right.
While we have left the slave plantations and went north, and we decided to come back south, we've also decided to go back to the Caribbean
Yes, sir.
before we head back home.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Come on.
We already positioned. I pulled a map of the census. You probably can't see it, but see all the darker areas right there? That's where the majority of black people are.
Yes, sir.
Already close to the Caribbean.
Yes, sir.
We're already there. Look at that. We're already there. Majority of black people are in Virginia, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, Southwest Texas, Louisiana. You're already close to the Caribbean.
That's right. That's right.
We migrated back,
That's right.
looking for opportunity.
That's right.
While we migrated, we've come back south and find out that there's still limited opportunity.
That's right.
And we find out that while we are considering international migration, so are other Americans seeking international migration. Caucasians are leaving America
That's right.
for economic opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Whether they're going to Dubai, whether they're going to Afghanistan, whether they're going to Europe, whether they're going to China, whether they're going to Japan, Caribbean, they are leaving.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
The new American dream is to work and leave.
That's it.
Used to be what, to get a house and get a 2.5-car garage and a dog or something like that. It's gone. That dream is gone.
That's right.
You have a reclamation of America by the indigenous people. What you call Mexicans or indigenous people are reclaiming America back by the hundreds of thousands every year.
That's
They're
right.
coming back home.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
So while the white man's talking about immigration, it's only the original indigenous people coming back to get what's theirs.
That's right.
So while they're coming back, you need to be going out. It's time for another migration.
Yes, sir.
So our government, our spiritual leader, the Honorable Silas Muhammad, our Queen, have ventured out
Yes, sir.
and have chosen to light up the Caribbean.
Yes, sir.
We've already pinpointed one station of development, of initial development. We've chosen St. Kitts. And we are already there developing
That's right.
projects, homes, business opportunities. But we have to start to begin to prepare others for that exodus, the next migration. It's already happening.
That's right.
Other black folks have already done it. But it's getting ready to be another great migration.
Yes, sir.
Okay? What spawned, the same thing that spawned the Great Migration South was what? Lynchings, racism, riots. So when the lynchings, the racism, and the riots begin again, because it's about to jump off here in America.
Yes, sir.
It's already hot.
Yes, sir.
Where you gonna go?
That's right. Right.
We go.
What you gonna do? It's insane for a frog to be in a pot and be put on the stove and the frog don't jump out.
That's right.
If the frog feels it's hot and he don't jump out, that frog is insane.
That's right.
You in the pot.
That's right. That's right.
The skillet is on. Or the gas is on.
That's right.
And an insane frog will sit there and boil. A smart one would jump out and move on. So we are looking at another international migration as an opportunity for our people to settle and to establish ourselves, to get our footing. And these other countries are opening up their arms. They want so-called African Americans to come to Belize, to Panama, St. Kitts. It's opening up.
Yes, sir.
Because of what we've been through and what we've learned, and we are much more civilized than what we used to be.
Yes, sir.
They want you there with your degrees, remember all them degrees and MBAs and DDDs and PhDs and DOG. No, leave DOG. Leave all that stuff back. But all your skill sets. All your skill sets. The governments of the Caribbean would love to have you to run their hotels, to run their banks, to develop their schools, to open up restaurants and businesses, to buy their properties that the white folks done left because their money went bad. So now they got homes sitting over there. Okay. Develop their infrastructure, to build roads and hospitals, universities to teach in their universities, to fly their planes, to captain their ships, to drive their buses. The same things we were doing here, it's being opened up to us. So we've got to make ready for this next migration. And it's happening now. The wisest of us will start planning in advance. Okay? The wisest of us will be going in and out, getting yourself prepared. Because if you wait too late, you might not be allowed to get out. Look that up. It's talking about a movement of so-called African Americans who are living in South Africa, who are living outside of America, who are doing well. See, when you get freedom, it's something that happens to you. You just blossom.
Yes, sir.
When you get freedom. Right now we think because we've got the job, the car, actually the debt is what you got. You don't own none of it.
That's right.
You know they'll take it away from you in a minute.
In a minute.
You know that man on that tow truck will pull up and you be in a restaurant, they'll grab it. You come outside talking about somebody stole your car. The repo man. You know they'll come get your house and all that stuff. None of this stuff. It's a pseudo freedom.
Right. That's right. That's exactly what
LeBron James and them, they tell you the racism. It don't. You could be the wealthiest person here in America to be black and still experience it.
That's right.
It's time for us to explore freedom
Yes, sir.
on another level. So we have already begun to venture outside of America and develop relations with other nations. And they are opening up their arms to us, provided we have gotten our act together, provided we can pull our pants up.
Yes, sir.
Because ain't nobody gonna want you with your pants, because they got that problem there too.
Yes, sir.
They want civilized people.
That's right. That's right.
We can't go over there with our children being disrespectful.
Yes, right.
They don't want you there, because they got enough of that already.
That's right.
That's right.
They don't want us over there with all our problems. I'm serious now.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
They don't want us over there with our health issues.
That's right.
They don't. We can't go over there and eat 3-4 times a day. No, you can't. You won't survive. Ain't no clinics all over the place. You know how we go to a clinic in a minute. There's something wrong with us. We go to the emergency room like it's the next door doctor.
No.
It's not, we do.
No.
Just because. Baby got a cold, go to grave.
That's right. That's right.
No. We got to get ourselves together now.
That's right. That's right.
We got to start knowing how to treat one another. We got to get over this religious thing. All this fighting and this savage stuff.
Yes, sir.
and showing each other pure love and real love toward one another.
That's right.
And when we go over there and open up our businesses, people will come just to want to look at you.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Sure they will.
I mean, they will want to come and look at you.
Yes, sir.
Look at them. That's them people that left. They smiling now. Look at them. Why y'all so happy? I mean, because it's another victory.
That's right.
You remember when you know how your cousins and them come from up north?
Right.
And they all stressed out. They come down south and y'all smiling here in Atlanta because Atlanta's the black Mecca that you built now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
The
sir.
same way they'll be coming to St. Kitts. Why Minister Mustafa smiling like that? Because he's standing on the porch overlooking the ocean.
That's right. That's right.
Serving some pineapple and guava and tea. And he got a bedroom for you with his windows open with the ocean blowing from the Caribbean.
That's right.
And he's brother at peace. Same way your cousin, they come visit you, Kai, and they say, how you got this nice house? Remember your uncle used to, back in the day in the 40s and 50s when your uncle had a job in Detroit, Michigan, he drove down south with a big Cadillac.
That's right.
And everybody be, look at old Johnny. What he doing?
Yeah.
He doing good. Yeah. I'm just coming back to visit y'all. I ain't staying too long. I'm going back with opportunity. They see you, sister, when they come visit you and you in Belize or you in Panama or you in wherever you decide to do your thing.
That's right.
Come visit sis. She got a beautiful bed and breakfast down there. You can come stay with her. Got a good job. She done opened a school and she got a nail care, hair care, whatever she got going. Grocery store. Eating fresh fish. Working hard.
That's right.
Got a computer, got an online business, still getting money from France, wherever she got her business going. She ain't hurt. Her and her husband happy again.
That's right.
Because in America, y'all been fighting. Fighting about what? Money. I ain't got enough time. You know that stuff. Y'all, we fight about the same stuff. We think our stuff is so unique. We fight about the same stuff everybody else.
That's right.
Not enough time, not enough money. We ain't talking. We ain't communicating. Same stuff. Same stuff. Man, take your lady, take your husband, y'all let's get up out of here.
Yes, sir.
All that weight you couldn't lose in here in America, drop. You don't drop, sister. You don't drop because you ain't got them McDonald's be running off. And part of that weight ain't nothing but stress. Once you leave that stress alone, because you done stop eating. You eat one meal a day, you eating healthy, and still can't shed that weight. Got to be something.
That's right.
Stress.
That's right.
You going to the gym, working out at LA Fitness, the pressure's still high. You're doing everything that you're supposed to do, your cholesterol's high. It must be stress.
Yes, sir.
Disease.
Yes,
Disease ain't nothing but stress. Dis-ease.
That's right.
Not being at ease.
That's right.
Stress.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I get this thing called International Living. Check it out,
Yes, sir.
internationalliving.com. One white man he said his health improved 40% once he left and went to Costa Rica. He said 40%. He said just from leaving.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes.
He didn't realize what it meant to slow down.
Yeah.
Just slow down. We in this rat race just running and running and running and running. We don't even know what it's like to slow down. We're just running. I mean, we're just running, bro. You ain't going. I mean, where you going?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Say it.
Now they got these cell phones. People can call you whenever they want to. 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody texting you, calling you. Now your personal space is
That's right.
invaded.
That's right.
No break.
So we gotta make some real decisions.
Yes, sir.
The journey through our future is a journey through our past.
That's right.
And we've got to we're doing it spiritually and psychologically by coming back south and making our venture through the Caribbean, because there were things that were lost. And we got to recapture a lot of that stuff was lost. You see? And the people in the Caribbean that were left behind are waiting for you as well. Our brothers and sisters in Africa are waiting ultimately for a return or a connection. So we got to make that venture. And for our children, there is no future here.
That's
The
right.
jobs.
That's right.
I mean, there ain't nothing here. You got to create your own opportunity.
That's right.
And so we have to prepare them. And we ain't talking about going living in no hut now. Let me see, some people got the picture wrong when we talk about it. Like we getting ready to go live in a shack, live on the, you know, that's not what we're talking about. Mr. Muhammad says to establish and be amongst the best of civilized societies.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Equal or the best or better than the best of any civilized society. We ain't going to be slaves to nobody.
That's
Right.
right.
Get that out your mind. We ain't going nowhere to live in no slums.
No.
Trust. That's not the plan. You understand?
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Oh yeah.
Y'all better understand that now.
Sir, yes, sir.
Man, that's not part of the plan. If it is, change your mind. Uncle Johnny ain't leave the South to go live on something worse than the plantation.
Right.
You ain't leave the ghettos of Philly to come to Atlanta to live in the ghettos of Atlanta, did you?
Oh no. Oh no.
That's not the plan.
That's right.
We want our children to be educated with the best of those being educated. Understand that. We want our seniors to have the best that any seniors can have.
That's right.
I'm serious. You know what I mean? Something to think about.
That's right.
We want our seniors to be well taken care of.
That's right. Say that.
Don't have to lift a finger.
Yes.
Relax. Enjoy life. Reflect.
Yeah.
Go for a walk. Chill. Relax.
Yes.
And our young people need to be prosperous, developing, traveling,
Yes.
conquering
Yes.
the world.
Yes.
St. Kitts is a starting point. But there's a world. The world belongs to us.
Yes, sir.
We're the same people of Mali, Songhai, Benin, Timbuktu. We are those same people.
Yes, sir.
All we are doing is not talking about it no more. We're redeveloping. And that's what we're asking our people to do, is to redevelop our greatness by first self-identifying as Afro-descendants. And identify as a people as Afro-descendants who now are self-determining. Be a part of the Afro-descendant movement that's going on global. It is an Afro-descendant movement, global movement.
Yes, sir.
Be a part of it. And let's connect. Be a part of the Afro-descendant nation.
Yes, sir.
And seek protection. Now, does that mean that we're going to stop our fight for reparations? No.
That's right.
In fact, it helps our case for
Yes, sir.
reparations. Because reparations are paid from one nation to another.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Okay? It was the Sioux Indian that decided to be the Sioux Nation.
All right.
It was the Cherokee tribe that decided to be the Cherokee Nation before they got their reparations. Because before that, in the 20s and 30s, they was just a bunch of different groups trying to get them. Then they decided all they were doing is fighting each other. All they was doing is, I'm the Sioux from Dakota. I'm the Sioux from Georgia. I'm the Sioux from Florida. Sound like us, don't they?
Yes, sir.
I'm from Decatur. I'm from College Park. I'm from Compton. I'm from Detroit. I'm from New York. I'm from Florida. And ain't got nothing.
That's right.
So when they decided to be a nation, they went to the United Nations and put international pressure on the United States to give them reparations because they were organized as a people. Same with us. We've got to organize ourselves and quit being, well, I'm the Nation of Islam. Well, I'm the Southern Baptist. I'm the Northern Baptist. I'm the East West First Church corner.
That's right.
Northwest the Third Baptist.
That's right.
And
That's right. That's
come
right.
on now. All right, forget about it all. Afro-descendant.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
And now, reparations can be paid to the Afro-descendant nation.
Yes, sir. That's right.
The same way the Cherokees did it. You don't know it? Get on that little casino bus up to Cherokee, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
And that hotel, Harris, is part of reparations.
Yes, it is.
Go down to Montgomery to the, what's that little one in Montgomery? They got a little gambling. I mean, but they did that as a part of their self-determination. That's all I want to say. They are a people who decided to self-determine as a nation. Because reparations are paid from one nation to another. Not to a church, not to a mosque, not to this group, nation to a nation.
Make it plain.
So we've got to, we've come to this level of establishing ourselves as a constitutional minority. That's what we have established. We offer to our people to self-identify as Afro-descendant. Just say I'm Afro-descendant.
Yes, sir.
Remain Christian, remain Hebrew, remain Islamic, remain whatever your position is. That's fine. That brings peace to your life. Stay with it. That's what you choose to do. But politically, in order to establish what we need to do and move forward, we must be a nation of people.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's right.
We must do that. So we still got to get our reparations.
That's right.
Because we still got to, justice still has to be done.
Yes, sir.
It was prophesied that those same people that spent 400 years in slavery, it says afterwards, I will judge, and they shall come up with great substance. That's your reparation.
Great substance.
That's
But
right.
they got to be judged. And they're being judged today.
Yes,
And we haven't stopped fighting. Oh, we can fight from St. Kitts, it don't matter.
That's right.
The transatlantic slave trade was a global phenomenon.
Yes, sir.
So we can fight globally.
That's right.
It doesn't matter.
Say it. That's right.
We could fight from China. You still owe me.
That's right.
You still owe me. So once we establish ourselves and we apply the political pressure, and the political pressure increases, which is doing now, what you see with Travon is an example of political pressure. Black people are waking up.
That's
They're
right.
tired.
That's
They're
right.
tired of being, see, he was a brother who was walking with a bag of Skittles, an Arizona tea, and a hoodie. See, you identified with that because you're the same sister driving a Mercedes, getting pulled over because you're a sister with a Mercedes.
Yeah.
You're the same brother who's driving whatever you drive, and you get pulled over.
Yes.
That's right.
And see, we're tired of that same type of profile.
That's right. That's right.
Tired.
Tired of it. It don't matter what it is, we're being profiled today. And people are tired of it.
Yes, sir.
It's like they don't want you to enjoy nothing
That's right.
amongst them. They don't want you to have no peace.
That's right.
They don't want
That's
you to
right.
be successful.
That's right.
You got a brother of African descent as the president of the United States, and they give him more hell
Yes, they
than
do.
any president in history.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
More hell, and that's their president.
That's right.
No respect.
So what you think? I mean, what's next? I mean, we didn't have our president of the United States. What you think's gonna happen? You think you can get another one? I mean, he might get another term. Or you gonna get another one after that?
You gonna renege?
In fact, they gonna start kicking back everything they've been holding back
That's
on
right.
you.
Yeah. Say it.
They gonna unleash it on you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, they gonna let the fury.
Oh, yeah.
The next devil that come into the presidency of the United States of America is gonna be fierce.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be ugly.
Oh, well, you better believe it.
That's right.
So, point is, and after having a president of the United States, don't you want something better?
Yes, sir.
Your own nation. What else can you do?
That's right.
That's what's next. It's like eating fresh fruit. Can you go back to frozen? No. You gotta have Obama. Get you some. Now you gotta get more. Your nation.
That's right.
Get used to it. And the point is, the Black Holocaust is memorializing our past, but it's also a celebration of our future.
Yes,
So we've been a long way.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot to celebrate. So don't get beat up down in what's going on. What you see with Brother Travon, what you see here in America, that's just part of America as Africa. All this stuff is what America's all about.
That's right.
But if we really want to change what it is, we've got to change our position. We've got to change our global position and separate ourselves.
That's right.
America separated itself from Britain because they were tired. It got a point in time where they just said, look, enough is enough. We're mature enough. We've got to establish our own. And this is what time we're on. This is where our leader and teacher, our queen, where they want us, where they are in the frame of mind, and where they want us to be is that we are at a point of maturity as a people, politically and socially, where we have enough skilled people to establish our own.
That's right.
We're at that point in time now. Now, if we don't do it now, you're only going to retard our growth. I'm going to leave on this final point. We retarded our growth in the 40s and 50s. While we were going for civil rights, in Africa they were going for what? Nationhood. We had a chance then in the 50s and 60s to establish nationhood, but we went for civil rights instead of human rights. So it's like you got a right to drink water at the water fountain. You got a right to sit down and eat at a Woolworth. You got a chance. I mean, but they didn't view you as a human being sitting there at Woolworth.
That's right.
You basically got a chance to drink out of a water fountain the same way a dog can go lick out the water fountain.
That's right.
So while we should have been going for human rights, like the rest of the world was doing, what they did in Nigeria, what Kwame Nkrumah did in Ghana, what was going on in the rest of Africa, what was going on in the islands, removing the colonial empire for our backs, we were fighting for a right to just be next to.
That's right.
Assimilate. It was assimilation. And then when you got next to them, they just scooted first. Right? You got next to them, and they scooted out.
That's right.
You went to their businesses, and they didn't go to yours.
That's
That's
right.
right.
All the black businesses we had failed.
That's right.
But we went out extending our hand, supporting them. That's got to stop.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. That's
And
right.
the day is over.
That's right.
And that's not hate.
That's right.
That's self-love.
That's right, brothers.
And you got to love yourself first
That's right.
before you love anybody else.
Say it. Say it.
You got to love you first.
Yes, sir.
You got to love your own self, your own kind, before you give it up to somebody else.
That's right. That's right.
And that's where we've been doing wrong for so many years, putting out our love, giving our love out for nothing.
Yes, sir.
We got to stop that.
Yes, sir. That's right.
I want to conclude by saying thank you. Self-identify with us. Our guest is Afro-descendant, accepted as your internationally recognized identity, to join on with the Afro-descendant movement that is going on around the world, and join the Afro-descendant nation. Self-identify. All you have to do is, I am an Afro-descendant. self-identify. Because while we exist in the United Nations arena, on paper, the numbers that we represent the numbers. And we have to begin to recognize and identify and call ourselves Afro-descendants.
That's right.
When we speak about ourselves. So self-identify with us. Are there any questions? I know I've taken up a lot of your time. You want me to shut up and you can go on. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, I think I've done my job.
Good teaching.
Yes, sir.
Good teaching.
This moment exists. That's right. They are the reason why. I'm a student, and out of all the titles and everything else, and the best one that I can have and enjoy is being called that of a student.
Yes, sir.
And I'm always learn from the cradle to the grave, be a part of this, but join on. Let's start to expand our mind, start researching. The information is now out there. And start looking at how can we set up and manifest our own destiny and not be victims in this thing of what's going on. I want to leave you in peace as I came to you in peace in our original language of Arabic. We say peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum.
I would just like to start out by saying what a beautiful family.
Thank you so very much.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, first and foremost, I'd like to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Marquita Burson bin Tahar. This is Jamil Burson bin Tahar. And this is Layla Burson bin Tahar.
Wa alaikum salam. Now, this is just so amazing. How did you enjoy this teaching today? How do you feel about this lecture?
Oh, I felt very well about the lecture. The lecture was very intuitive, very knowledgeable about our people, about us coming together as an Afro-descendant to become a nation together. I very enjoyed the history. The history of this teaching is just so informative. As a people, as a group, we all need to learn about this history so we can move forward.
Oh, yes. Now, young lady, what did you think about this teaching today?
It was good.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Now, tell me one more time your beautiful name.
Layla.
Layla? That's a beautiful name. Now, what did you think about this teaching?
I thought it was good to learn about it.
Oh, yes. Now, what did you think when he was talking about the young men that wear their pants down? What did you think about that?
They should stop doing that.
That's right. Your mother doesn't have that problem with you, does she?
But most intuitive, what I did like is speaking about Africa, the transatlantic slave trade. That is a very, very informative information that we as a people need to know, because some of that information and history that's being taught here in the mosque is not being taught in the schools.
That's right.
So I think that was very, very informative by the minister.
That's right.
And I appreciate that very much, because you can't move on without learning the history of our people.
Well, we are just so blessed here at Muhammad's Mosque that our minister is not only a minister, he's also a teacher and a principal.
That's right.
So that's why he brings the lectures in that form that he does as a teaching to all of us. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, young man? Well, tell me, what did you think about this teaching today? It was really what?
good.
Good. Now, what was so good about it?
It was just all the stuff I learned is like this, the basic principles my mom taught me, and then he's re-saying it, and I'm
Yeah.
like relearning it. It's just
Well, I am so happy you enjoyed it. Tell me, who am I speaking with?
Daniel Bennett Blake.
Daniel Bennett Blake. All right, that's a good name. What is your name of your mother and your father?
Tanya Bennett, Dean Blake.
All right.